Now, admittedly, this is a little bit difficult for me because I ain't scripting this and I'm not going to edit it. So here we go. I I have said, I admit I have said that modern music sucks. I've said that. Have you ever said that? Well, over the last 3 or 4 years, I've softened my stance on that a bit, and it's because got exposed to some contemporary artists putting out some great music. And what I've discovered is that there is a group of artists out there that pay respect to the music from the 60s and 70s. When I say pay respect, what I mean by that is they're not covering the songs, but what they're doing is lyrically and musically, they it almost sounds like the music of today is back from that era. And I really enjoy that. And it's interesting because they are paying respect to the music that we love as us baby boomers, but as baby boomers, we tend to disrespect what they've got. And we tend to think, well, they don't like our music anyway. I got reminded of that this weekend. I was scrolling through YouTube and I discovered, let me rephrase that. This YouTube discovered for me this video series by Isaac Brown. He's a Gen Z record producer who listens to music from back in our day. In most cases, he's not heard the music before and he provides an immediate reaction to it. His goal, he said, was to learn from the roots of music today, which would be back in the 60s and 70s, and find elements that he could incorporate into the music that he produces today. Really an interesting concept and an interesting watch. Now, among the things that I watch, episodes I watch, he went through the Boston album, the debut album by Boston, and was absolutely blown away by that one. He went through the top 5 Billboard songs from 1969. Of course, that had Sugar Sugar on it. That isn't one of the. It's a very popular song, but not one of the great songs from 1969, in my opinion. He also did 1975, the top 5 from 1970. I'm trying to remember what was on there. There's a B.J. Thomas song on there, and of course, there's Simon and Garfunkel's Bridge Over Troubled Water, which he really got into. Now, why am I sharing this with you? We as baby boomers take great pride in the music that we grew up with, and we tend to completely disdain or avoid anything contemporary. There's some great music out there put out by contemporary artists. There's some great contemporary music being put out by some of our great rock and rollers from back in the day. What comes to mind, Mark Farner had an album come out, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, called Closer to My Home. He's got a great song on there called Anymore. In fact, I think it's the opening track. And he talks about today's times. This is a rock and roller from our era that's talking about today's times. But the reality of it is, few of us have listened to that song. Few of us have checked out that contemporary music because we tend to stay rooted in what we know, which is the music as it came out in the 60s and 70s. Why am I recording this? Well, I really like the music I grew up with. Predominantly, that is the music I listen to even to today. But every now and then, I sprinkle in some music from the contemporary world, and I found that I really enjoy it. And I would suggest that you do the same. If you're curious what I'm listening to that's contemporary, let me know. I'll give you some names of some artists and some songs, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is Phil Yale. Well, I'm Phil Yale. This is Unfiltered, and I hope you'll come back and join me again.